Hey everybody, my name's Jeff, and I call this expert advice. I talk to myself because sometimes I need expert advice. And today, I'm bringing my friends along for the ride, especially my pals at CarolinaFirearmsForum.com. And if you're in the Carolinas, or even if you're not, and if you're interested in firearms and freedom, you should definitely check them out. All right, now the point of this video is sorghum syrup. Somebody posted on Carolina Firearms Forum that they had just discovered how great sorghum syrup was, and I've known that my whole life because my family used to make sorghum syrup. I told them if anybody is willing to grow sorghum cane for me, then me and my dad will work on getting this behind me fixed up, ready to press the cane and cook it down and make syrup. We're just not in the business of growing right now, but we can crank the mill up, I hope, and cook syrup. So this is the whole getup as it stands right now. I'm going to show you through it, and then I'm going to talk about some of the obstacles that stand in our way and how I'm planning on addressing those obstacles. So, first in line, back here, selfie mode, by the way, is highly limiting. A tractor drives this big wheel here through a canvas drive belt. Oh yeah. Now, that wheel turns this gear right here. Let me get you up a little closer. Maybe see if we can... No, you can't see that, can you? Because of the bright sunlight out there. Let's see. This way? Hard to tell. Anyway, the wheel out here, I'll give it a little spin, needs to be greased. Turns that right there, which turns this big wheel, this big cog here. Again, you can't see it because of the bright sunlight out there. This wheel, this gear, transmits through this shaft right here to this gear right here. Let's see, no bright sunlight in that direction. Nope, plenty of bright sunlight that direction, but we'll keep going. So, this gear right here is turned by the wheel back there through a reduction, which then turns this big wheel, this big gear on top of here, on top of the press. Now this guy here spins these drums. Can you see deep down in there? If my boy didn't have my flashlight, I'd be happy to light that up for you. But the only way to keep him quiet is to give him my flashlight. So there, you see those drums down in there? Those are where you feed the cane in to press it. The juice from the cane that's being crushed runs down out of here into some barrels. And then when we did this last time, we used buckets to hand carry everything from the press over here to what's called the pan. This pan is built out of unplaned oak. I'm going to try to move the camera down low enough that you don't get, the exposure doesn't get blown out by the bright sunlight. So, this pan is built out of unplaned, I'm pretty sure this is oak, but unplaned lumber. Looks like a 2x10. And it has a stainless steel bottom nailed to it. what it's sitting on top of, this brick that it's sitting on top of, is the firebox. And inside of there, again, the last time we did this, there were gas burners, 2-inch black iron pipe pieces with holes drilled in them to make 3 gas burners underneath of there to heat up the juice and cook it into syrup. Now, so that's the tour, basically. There's not a whole lot more to it than that. It's a tractor driving the mill, pressing the cane to get the juice out, somebody carrying the juice from the mill over here to the pan and cooking it. Now, starting back over again here at the press, we're going to talk about possible roadblocks and how and whether I plan on dealing with them. So the first roadblock, doesn't really matter where I stand because I'm blown out no matter what. The first roadblock is actually the second link in my chain, which is this. This, you can see the carpenter bees in our shed have been very busy. This is the canvas belt that drives the mill from the pulley on a tractor. I don't know how old this belt is. I know that the first time we, my family, used this press was around 1980. So my bet is the absolute newest this belt could possibly be is 40 years old. It is probably quite a bit older than that. And we have a spare, which is just as old. And I'm concerned, I'm worried, because this is a very long piece of 5 or 6 inch wide canvas. It's spinning at a relatively high rate of speed, and if it breaks, first, it puts our operation at a dead stop, because there's no way in the world I'm going to stand next to that wheel and spin it for 4 or 5 hours. And 2, it becomes a whipping projectile, like a broken chain with nothing holding it back, that might sweep around and hit somebody. And I can't deal with that. I'm not equipped to handle that kind of stuff. I would like to find a replacement canvas drive belt for this thing. So that's something that the internet is going to help me with. Now, the second holdup. The whole get up here has not been used in about 20 years, and lack of use, just sitting idle, is extremely bad for equipment, especially that long, going on 20 years. So I need to hook the tractor up to this and spin it, grease everything and spin it, just to make sure it's gonna work before I get somebody standing down here with a load of cane wanting syrup and me not able to produce it because my press won't turn or won't work properly. Now, the third holdup, I'm going to bring you around this way. Spun this the wrong way. I don't know if you can see this. We're going to try. See these 2 teeth right here? These 2 teeth on this cogwheel? You can't tell because they're coated in grime, but these 2 teeth actually broke off. And they've been braze repaired. Somebody, a welder, came back here and just added a bunch of material by brazing to build these back up. But that concerns me just a little bit. If these break, then my cog over here won't be able to turn this wheel, And that will also stop my operation dead. But on the other hand, unlike the belt I was talking about earlier, breaking those two teeth doesn't actually pose any sort of safety hazard to the people that are around. So I don't think I'm going to work on that. Plus, there's just too many roadblocks to fixing this. I am pretty certain that this wheel here is made out of cast iron, and I don't possess the knowledge, skills, or abilities necessary to, yeah, you like that? I don't possess the knowledge, skills, and abilities necessary to weld on cast iron. I could hire somebody to come out here and work on it, but that presents a lot of complications of its own. Mostly, I don't know anybody to do that. The guy who did it last time is long dead. So I don't know who would come and get it. Third, really minor obstacle is I don't have any barrels. I got a 3-year-old. 3-year-olds aren't very useful vessels for juice. But I don't have any barrels. Barrels are easy, though. That's what Craigslist is for. Now, I swear I am going to move that backhoe attachment. The third roadblock is there's a lot of weeds growing up in my shed here. On top of everything else, my shed's falling down, but that's a relatively minor issue in the grand scheme of things. So, fourth issue is blown out exposure because of bright sunlight. There we go. Hot dang, man, you can see me now. All right. So, fourth issue is my pan. Now, this pan relies on swelling of the wood. Here we go. There we go. How you like that? The pan relies on the swelling of the wood. You see these nail holes here? We flipped this pan over before the last time we cooked. These are the nail holes from when that piece of stainless steel was on this side and this thing was flipped over. It relies on swelling of the wood to seal, thank you, to seal it and to hold the liquid in here. And like I said before, it's been about 20 years since we used this thing, so I'm a little concerned that it won't hold water, or that it's going to take a lot to get this thing to seal up and there's going to be a lot of leaking. So the way I'm going to handle that is today I'm going to pick it up off the firebox and set it over there next to that pump and pump it full of water and make sure it'll hold. I tried with this pipe that you saw there. I tried with that pipe right there, but my pump needs to be about 6 inches higher, or my pan about a foot lower to make that work. I just couldn't, it just wouldn't go. So, where am I? So that's how I plan to mitigate that. Fill it full of water, make sure it'll hold water, and if it won't, my plan is to rebuild it. It's relatively straightforward. Hopefully I should be able to get the materials I need to do that. So I'm going to just rebuild it. However, it's going to be expensive because stainless steel, buddy, stainless steel is pricey. Now, number 5, hold up. That firebox, this firebox that it's sitting on, it's going to be full of rocks in about 3 hours if he has anything to say about it. But the firebox that it's sitting on here is coming apart. See, have a look at this right here. We built the firebox out of these solid bricks, thinking that they would be better for holding heat in. They're not any better for holding heat in than bricks with holes in them are. And the reason bricks have holes in them is to allow the mortar to work its way up inside of them and hold them together better. So what we did was we built our firebox out of solid bricks, and we built, we put on the ground here, see, the ground is all done in bricks with holes in them that we should have used to build the firebox. So we're gonna have to do some work on the firebox to shore it up. Probably take all the loose bricks out and redo the mortar and replace the ones that have broken loose with the ones that are scattered around on the ground right now with holes in them. Sixth and final holdup, and the biggest hurdle, in my opinion, to getting this thing done is heat. Now, I told you there used to be propane burners underneath of here, and I tell you what, let's, for appearance's sake, let's get this pipe out of here. That inspires a lot of confidence, doesn't it? Now, there used to be propane burners underneath here until some peach of a human being came back in here and stole them from us. And I hope the $3 the scrapyard gave you was worth it. Anyway, the gas company came and took the gas tank because we hadn't bought any gas in probably 30 years. And somebody stole our burners, so I've got to rebuild the burners. But my dad found a great idea on YouTube. We'll take appropriately sized lengths of pipe and use an angle grinder to cut slits along the pipe and put a gas inlet in one end and a cap on the other end, and those will work as the burners. We just have to work on a manifold system. How about that? The last thing that I'm going to do to test this, after I've filled this pan full of water and made sure it holds water, after I've fixed the firebox so that it holds together, and after I've built those burners, is I'm going to fill the pan full of water and boil water in it. Boil water. Thank you. I'm going to hook the tractor up to the mill and spin it and grease everything. I can't run any, I got nothing I can run through it other than grass. But I guess I could buy some stalks of corn or something, maybe. I don't know. But I could find something to run through the mill, or at least just spin it over and grease everything. And I'm going to fill this pan full of water and boil it. And at that point, I'm going to be confident in saying I am ready to cook molasses down into syrup. When that time comes, I'm going to take everybody here along for the ride. But my name is Jeff. I appreciate you guys watching, and have a great day.